So Thilo, thank you so much for sitting down with us and going through some of these products. One thing I want to start with, because last name, Mühle. We hear about all these brands in the industry, all comes from some individual at some point, but very rarely in modern watchmaking do you actually sit with somebody that is directly descending from where the name comes from.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your family story and watchmaking in general?
Of course. Thank you very much for visiting us here in Glashütte. You know, it's outside of Switzerland, a famous place for watch industry. And yeah, my family name, Mühle, means a windmill, you know, when you look for a sign. For this reason, when you look to our old instruments which we produced in the past, we had as a sign the windmill. But then we removed because some of the people say, oh, you're from Dutch, you know, because for Dutch people, the windmill is very famous. So that you see a little bit what my last name mean. Family history is here in Glashütte. It's a very long story. I'm the 5th generation in our company, and my grandfather Robert Mühle started in 1869. So in this time, the watch industry here in Glashütte growing up, Ferdinand Adolf Lange founded the industry in 1845. So a couple of years later, 24 years later, my grandfather started to produce measurement instruments for the watch industry. And they was able in this time to produce a measurement instrument where you can measure 1,000th. That means you have not only the mechanical part in this measurement instrument, you have also to print the scale, to read it very accurate. This is for me unbelievable when I see what we do today, which kind of things we have to help to assist us, you know, like computers and like programs and so on. And for I'm so proud of this, that they are able to do this. And further in the 1920s, we produced speedometers and car clocks for the car industry and for motorbikes. What I mean, we never barked a marketing history story. We have the history story. My family is here since a long, long time, since the 13th century.
Wow.
In this area.
This region, yeah.
Yeah, in this region. And since 1869 in the business, you know. And this is where not too much companies here can look back to this long way, you know. And after World War II, the Russians closed the company, of course, because we produce speedometers for the military equipment. And for this you are involved, you know. And my grandfather started in 1945 a company again. They produce at the end movements to measure the pressure, you know. And we are in East Germany here, former GDR, and it was not allowed to have your own private company. And the government took our company in 1972. So it was owned by the people. So my father makes sometimes the joke, in the evening I was a capitalist, and in the morning I was a director on a socialist company, you know. So that is hard to understand when you came from the US, for example, because you have the freedom ideas, you know. But it was usual here. And my father moved forward. This part was all the time working. And it was at the end a part of the GUB, Glashütte Ohrenbetrieb. It's also existing today. They have the brands Glas Original and Union. And at the end he was the head of sales for watches and chronometers. And after the reunification, it was an interesting time. When I look back today, there was a lot of changing from people. They want to buy this company, they want to spend money or not. And there was one company, it was France Bosch. It's a French company, it's not existing anymore. And they said, okay, we have 5 CEOs here, it's too much. My father was responsible for the sales. The sales is not good, so we fire you. So, okay. He think, okay, what should I do? Because no experience, you know. Only the experience what he get in the GUB.
Yeah.
So, and then he said, you know, they closed this sector of the chronometers. And then he said, okay, I asked my customers if they want to spend money when I developed a new chronometer, and then so we can do business together. And they said yes, and so he started with 3 people here in this place, as not in this because we are in the new building, but in our in the building next to us, and they developed a new chronometer, which he sold to hamburger companies, which they sent to vessels, for example. And later on, we make also time systems for cruise shipping. And this was the part, and for this reason, we have the Nautical Instruments name in our brand name. Not only Mühle Glashütte, the official name is Nautical Instruments. That was the reason why. Mühle Glashütte. This was the short form of our history, because you can look it up at the internet too, because we have written down over there the whole story. And yeah, for me personally, I'm here since 2000. So now 23 years, also a long time. And also we have a 6th generation. My kids, Dustin and Fanny, they are both of them in the company. And so the family tradition can going on, you know. So this is also important.
I mean, that's amazing because, as we mentioned, this is just so rare to see that, where you see a direct family connection, especially in a region like this, where there was a lot of just a tumultuous situation that's happening, a lot of change, and you know, to stay resilient enough to keep this company going is remarkable. When I look at your watches, you can see your history tied into your new pieces, and I want to look at one collection to start, because this is, I think, really epitomizes this concept where you look at some of this, you know, marine chronometers, you look at these tactical type of instruments and measuring tools. S.A.R. collection. This is like the first watch I think of when I think of Mühle.
It's not really the first one, but it is our icon. And for the S.A.R. collection, you see how is our thinking, you know. And for us, it was for our own education to build up a brand, because you have to believe nobody really learned marketing in the GDR, you know. And what is a brand? We have to learn it, you know. And we'll jump a little bit back, because if you produce measurement instruments, if you produce to measure the pressure, if you produce speedometers, all these are instruments. And for me, a timepiece is also an instrument. This is our red line. So for this reason, my father created, when he started here, the first thing what you should see on our watches is the time. And you can really look through our collection. The first thing is every time the time. So, and this is really important to understand, because we follow a little bit the German way, less is more and form follow function, you know, the engineering. And this is where we are very successful with our way. And let me introduce the S.A.R. timer. I know that a lot of people know this also in the US market, because our icon, and last year we celebrate our 20th anniversary of this watch. But let me tell you the story behind, because a friend of mine in the beginning of the 2000, when I was new here, he told me, hey, we need somebody who give us the reputation that we can go ahead with this. And so we was looking for somebody who is able to work with us, and we came to the DGZRS, means Deutsche Gesellschaft zur Rettung Schiffsbrüchiger. This is a search and rescue of the short form in English, you know. So, but this is a really nice organization. They live only from donation, really. The government gives any money to them, they only live from donation. And for us, it's a really good cooperation, because it's so honest, you know, so these people. And so we was working, as we make the contact, we can think about it and let us meet. So we over there and say, hey, we can do a second time zone, we can do this and this. And people in Germany from the north part are really straight when they speak, bullshit, you know. When we go out and the ship is shaking, we destroyed our private watches, we need a tough watch. Okay, understood. And when we go out and the weather conditions are really bad, we have no time to read what's the time now, you know. So we have to have a good orientation on the watch. Okay, understood. And we need no sharp angles, because sometimes we have to rescue with our hand people from the water to pull it in the boat. So also for this. And now I come back to this. The sapphire glass, for example, is 4 mm thick. That means, I will say, if you wear the watch, you cannot destroy it with your human power. It's not possible. If you do it and your arm is okay, then you get the watch for free. But I never have to do this. You know? So also for the loop, it's inside, it's not outside. You cannot scratch it off. Yeah, you cannot scratch it off. You know. So when you look to the dial, what they told us, we have a good illumination on it. You know, so it's really strong. It's like a small flashlight. And you have the triangle by 3, 6, and 9. The target goes to the center, and only 12 o'clock goes up. Because in our orientation, when we look to a watch, 12 o'clock is straight ahead. Old pilot movies, when you're looking, they say, hey, 8 o'clock is somebody coming, and you know exactly 8 o'clock you have to turn left, you know, your head and of this side, or 3 o'clock is right. This is for the orientation, so you don't need really time to read the time. And then we have a rubber bezel, and you see it's not really a sharp angle where you can scratch the people, because it's not good for the communication when they say, oh, we rescue some people, but he has a cut like this, you know, this is not good. And yeah, so we understand totally. So when we speak about another watches, this was our beginning. We understand to hear to the people, they want to wear the watch, not that we have a marketing team, they create a cool watch, we look for a famous person, please wear for a lot of money our watch, and then we are successful. No, this is made for people, they want to wear the watch and they use the watch.
And this was an intended utility piece, as a tool.
Yes, it's a tool.
With its own creation, and that's why
and this is really important that this is our way, you know, we are a company, we are our family, we stand with our feet on the bottom. We are not over the button. I don't know really in English this, I will say something wrong, but you understand what I mean. So we are grounded, and we complete normal people to follow the rules what they want to have. And let me jump a little forward. Last year to the 20th anniversary, it is hard when you have an icon to do another watch in this family. So, and we were thinking all the time what we can do for the 20th anniversary. And we need a design which is close enough but far enough, because you can destroy it with a new watch, your icon, or you can be successful. So we decide, okay, let us change the material. We have stainless steel on the existing one. We have titanium in the model which we introduced to the family in the last year. We have a dial which is more opener than this one, and the thing on this dial is the triangles and also the indexes are molded, and then we fill it in the superluminova. And the index on the triangle is not printed, it's material. So you have to fill the triangle by hand. So this is really special, because when you fill in the superluminova, you have a lot of superluminova to give the lightness back, you know. And for this reason, it's really a cool technology.
So you saw that it was allowing the superluminova to shine brighter with more consistency. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
And
it looks flat though. It does look like a single
it looks like a printing, but it is not a printing really, because for this reason it's too strong the illumination. And also, when you go out at night, and sometimes when you have a minute hand and the hour hand, it's more or less not too big different in the white. We have a small gap here, or gap not, we have a material here.
Yeah, it's like so separating the two.
Yes, you have separated the minute hand, so that you see, okay, this is the minute hand and this is the hour hand. All the thinking is make it easy to read the watch.
And the AR coating on this, I also noticed, like I'm assuming that looks like double AR, I don't know, but I mean, it's very visible from a side angle. I mean, it's incredible. And then could you
also deform, you know, we have a smaller top and we have a wider bottom, and it's completely different, you know, but it make it more dynamic, you know, so from my opinion.
It's beautiful. Moving on to some further...
So I also, with this watch, this is really, I love it, you know. Normally I should wear every time this one. S.A.R, we remember the search and rescue people on the Baltic and the North Sea. They have, when they need assistance from the air, we have a special forces, it's MG5. It was located in Kiel, now they came together to a bigger airspace. And they have the Sea King. Now they change a little bit, because you know the Sea King is an old helicopter from the US, Sikorsky, and from the 60s, I guess. And so they go a little bit forward to modern helicopters. And they contact me and say, hey, you do the watch for the people for the search and rescue, because we work with them together, we train together to wind up the people, and so on and so on. Could you do for us a watch? We have an official watch from the army, but it's not nice, so we look for our own one. So I'm not the official, but they bought it from us, you know. So I say, oh yeah, maybe, and I was not jumping in, you know. But this guy was calling me again, and Mr. Mühle, can we meet us? Or can we speak about this? Okay, come, let us meet. So I went to Kiel, and then we also discussed about what do you need? So, and then he said, okay, all the time we fly with gloves, and so we need the handbag free. So we turn the movement, so that you have the crown in the 9 position, not in the 3 position.
Mm-hmm.
When we are when we fly at night, the helicopter is dark, only the instruments are shining. So the idea for us was, you have in your head, when you use a chronograph, 2 o'clock is start-stop, 4 o'clock is reset. So we said, okay, if you use the chronograph, we have to find a pusher where you feel that you are in the right position for start-stop. And when you see this special pusher, you have to whirl like this,
mm-hmm.
and when you fly and you feel with your thumb, when you push here, okay, it is much more material
mm-hmm.
Instead of the reset pusher, because it is only a dot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you feel, and you cannot have a malfunction if you want to use it, you know. And this 10 seconds, which we have in the S.A.R color red, they told me, I'm not a pilot, they told me they use this for the calculation of the speed of the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for them the 10 seconds or 10 minutes or like this, you know. And for this reason we do develop this watch.
Yeah, if you're a dominant right-handed individual, it actually makes way more sense because you don't have to take your watch off to be able to time. So intuitively, that makes a ton of sense. If I have this on my wrist, grab that, so much easier.
And for this reason, the story behind this watch is also, I guess it's really cool, you know. So this is our S.A.R family.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, we have a lot to explain about this,
mm-hmm.
and I have some personal stories behind, which when I remember me, I have a good job, you know, in this reason, because you can meet people and you get stories behind. It's really interesting. And let me go forward with this one, our Seebatallion.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it is all in the north part of Germany, where we have the marine, and I will say Seebatallion, you call it for you Navy SEALs.
Yes.
This is Special Forces, you know.
Yes, Special Forces, yes.
And they said also you do this watch, and we want to have also our own watch. So we are at the Atalanta mission. This is where they protect the vessels for the pirates, you know, in Africa like
mm-hmm.
this. And they are for Special Forces like Afghanistan and where they were, you know. And then we talk a little bit, and he told me, yeah, when we go out, we have everything with us, you know, so we carry 45 to 50 kilogram.
Mm.
So we said, okay, then we cannot make a stainless steel watch, we have to do a titanium because it's light. Then when we are in the world on different points, for us a GMT would be good. Okay, so if you see it, for example, we have the local time, everything is white, and the GMT is yellow. So that you have the orientation with the yellow is the GMT. So maybe it's your hometown when you're, for example, in Afghanistan, and the local time is over there. The triangle is open for the GMT because sometimes the minutes are very important for them when they have to call somebody back, when they have to mention something, so that they see.
So you need visibility at all moments.
Visibility.
Yeah.
And then we have a countdown bezel. For example, I move forward and say, please call me back in 15 minutes. Then you put
mm-hmm.
the 15 on the minute hand, and you see, and the triangle time is gone.
Mm-hmm.
If you had it in the normal direction, you have to, where is 15, you know, orientation is not so easy.
Yeah, if your time elapsed, yeah.
And for this case, it's easy to read, and it's easy to use it in the practice.
Mm-hmm.
This is the background where we developed this watch like this.
So all these watches, you're just reverse engineering.
Yeah.
You know, what is the request? And how can we make a watch that's going to fit that specific use case?
But this is really interesting to for our company, that we have this education to develop watches for people they want to use the watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now this is really our Teutonia line.
Mm-hmm.
We have some different models. We have Teutonia II, Teutonia Sport, we have Teutonia IV. And Teutonia is a very strong name. Teutonia is our dress code watch. I guess we have it since the beginning, more or less, in the collection, and we are very successful. And for the Teutonia, you can say really less is more,
mm-hmm.
because we reduce everything on the level to read the time. This is our Teutonia IV Chronograph. It is a chronograph with a 39 diameter,
mm-hmm.
Stainless steel blue hands. By heating, it's important, you know, because it's a temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a complete another blue than you do it by galvanic process, you know. So I love this one because it is really blue for me. And at the end you see really a clean dial.
Symmetry is beautiful, yeah.
And I think it is more or less a really perfect size. Also the finishing on the case, you know, we have a German case maker. And I guess really you see the difference between an Asian supplier and the German supplier. You know, the German are very accurate. The accuracy on the lines are very high,
and like
also
vertical
the angles,
streaking, brushing,
and the angles is really accurate. You know, this is a big difference to some of my competitors. And for us, it's important to give our customers a good value. The money what they spend, they get a lot of watch back, you know. Maybe I can explain you a little bit to the Glashütte rule because we didn't spoke about it
absolutely.
until
Standard
now.
To be a Glashütte watch,
you know, the standard is to use the name of Glashütte on your dial. You have to produce 50% on the movement by yourself, and especially for the chronograph, we do a lot of parts. Let me start from the back. It's the rotor. We do in every our watches. We have our woodpecker regulation inside in all our watches. I can explain if you like.
Yeah, which is your own proprietary regulating.
Yes, I can explain you a little bit later the name and also the function of it because it's advantage for the people they wear the watch. In this case, we do automatic bridge by ourselves, and we have a 3/4 plate which we also produce in-house, where we have the anchor wheel bridge. You know, that is also an old typical Glashütte tradition part. And we adapt this to the basic movement. As basic movement, we are say it all the time. It's Celita, where we work together since all the time, and we are very proud to have this as our supplier because it's independent. We are independent, so I have to follow a little bit the rule with the independence because it's much more safer for me to survive. Because you know, the watch business is more or less we have some big groups. And they have also a lot of really good suppliers, and sometimes it's not so easy to get the parts from them. So I look for independent suppliers.
Moving along to maybe one of your moon phases here.
Yeah, we have. We started also with the Teutonia IV. You see, it's more or less in the same direction like our chronograph, Teutonia IV. We have a small moon phase over there. We have stainless steel blue hands again, and we have a white clean dial. And the new one is our blue moon. It looks here with the light, you couldn't see it really nice. It's a dark blue dial with a bigger moon phase. And we put it a little bit on the side because the idea was when you put it on 6 o'clock, it looks like a clown face, you know. So we said, no, we cannot go this way because people say, hey, look to this face on the dial, you know. So we move it a little bit. And also the disc, especially also for this one, it's our own design and it is also produced for us. You see, when you look really exact to the disc on the moon, you see our own design because it is not so flat. It is a little bit not 3D, but it's a little bit more
texturized.
Yeah, that you see. And it's also a clean watch. It's a 39 diameter. It's a nice size, and we are really successful with this. Also with the combination of the blue.
Could you talk a little bit more about your woodpecker regulating organ too? Because I think when you're looking at what are those defining characteristics of this brand, even as you start to get into something that I would call more dressy, you know, what is the upside? I mean, you have many ways of regulation and shock and how you can manage this, but
so,
this is you produce in-house.
So our woodpecker regulation had the advantage because if you look to the spring, at the end on the spring you have a little bit a neck, you have a little bit a head and the pick, you know. For this reason my father created the name woodpecker regulation. A lot of famous brands use the swan neck regulation, where the spring is like a swan neck. And for us, it's a little bit shorter. It is the woodpecker regulation. The advantage really for you when you use our watches is the woodpecker regulation. We fit the hand with the spring on the second position. You have the Inca block shock resistant. And when you look here, you see the difference that we fit the hand, what I explained with the spring. And that means when you are use and you knock your hand like this, it could happen, the hand's going up and you lose your accuracy. In this case, it is protected, you know. So it is our idea to give our customers the possibility to use the watch, you know, for each, more or less each. I have to be careful with this, but for more or less each reason what you want to do in your free time or in your business time. This is really the advantage of this woodpecker regulation.
Moving right along to another model here.
Yeah. So we have, for example, here also a Teutonia II Chronograph. For me, funny to see this because I explain you later. It is the classic sign. It's blue. We have it also in with silver dial, and we have the Teutonia Sport Chronograph. Could you believe that's the same diameter?
No, I mean, it just goes to show when you add a bezel and rotation,
of
how
course.
much
But
you can change the optics.
The case diameter is the same. But then you see what you can do with design, you know. It looks smaller, sporty. This is a sport chronograph, you know. And this is more elegant, you know. But the basic is the same. And this is funny sometimes to see what you can do only with to change a dial, a bezel like this, you know. But the body case is the same. So this is our thinking, that we think in lines, you know. Teutonia line, we extend the Teutonia line only that we change some dials, some bezel design, and sometimes also the function. So this is the classic one, and that's the sporty one, you know. And I love this watch too. We have also a freehand watch available. This also with the red and black, and also with the Irish racing green. I love this because sometimes I do some vintage car rallies.
All right, nice.
So I start tomorrow, for example. We have here in our region one for 1.5 days, and we are the sponsor of this. And the winner get two, also the team get 2 of these watches, because it is so it is typical rally car design, and I love this because I love the green. You know, it's a nice green inside.
You have the larger aperture for the date too, just to create a little contrast, and also with kind of great symmetry too, with the same kind of distance from top to bottom, with that running 60 seconds on the opposing side. And very cool looking watch.
In all our models, we have the woodpecker regulation inside. There's nothing without, you know.
And you're producing that
in-house. Yeah. We will see when we do our tour. I show you the machines where we produce it. And at the end, so from our small overview about the collection, I show you our 29ers. 29ers also a successful line. 29ers is sailing size boat. It's Olympic size, where they do during the Olympic Games also races. And this is our new colors, which we introduced a couple of weeks ago. And for us, the 29er is really a good price range. You know, it's under 2,000 euro, and so you can go ahead with the colors, and it looks not overloaded. You know. And we are, with the new colors, this is summer colors, we are really successful, and so we are really proud to have this collection in our line or in our collection, because we give the opportunity also for our customers to have a little bit more a sporty watch. You know, Teutonia is more dress, this is more sporty.
This would be something I would classify as more of that everyday style watch. Could do the job, of course, if you were going to push it, but also in addition to that has enough of the dressy upside where you could utilize it.
You know, when you wear jeans like a suit, or you can wear it every time more or less.
100 meters of water resistance, really well finished.
100, also 10 ATM. So genau. As minimum is in our collection, every watch is 10 ATM.
That's minimum. Nothing
minimum.
below. Nothing below. And then another model I'd like to talk about too is your Panova collection.
Panova,
this is a collection for me. I mean, it kind of represents that entry door to your brand, and you know, it's very playful, but also at the core of it, very much like a tool. So I also, one defining characteristic about this line I enjoy is just the loom plots and how highly they sit within the dial itself. So it's very nice, and right around $1,000 for this watch.
This now we have also, you know, the situation here after COVID, and with our inflation, we have a little bit to increase the price. The euro price is now 1,200 euro.
That's still incredible value.
Yeah, it's an incredible value for with the classical rule, you know. So because we have also the woodpecker regulation inside, we have the decorations, what we do, we automatic bridge, and also we do the rotor by ourselves. Unfortunately, for this model, you haven't the open case, you know, so you cannot see the movement, but you can trust me.
I'll take your word for it, for sure.
And at the end here, we have one part what I also is, I love this watch. It's our Lunova Chronograph from our Lunova family. It is where you have a color where you start with light, and it will be dark on the outside, and you have a combination between applied index and printed figures. The idea behind also the figures applied, it is too sporty. with this combination, printed and applied, it is more elegant, you know. And at the end, when you look to the case finish, it's also my German case maker. It is, also for me, it's unbelievable, this kind of case finishing. And I have another color because it was a special edition. Sometimes I have the possibility to wear a special edition.
This is 42?
It's 42, yes.
42, yeah.
It's not boring. When you look to the dial, it is interesting to see, you know.
It's a beautiful watch, beautiful watch. Well, Thilo, thank you so much for sitting through this and going through some of your collection. I think for myself, what brings me enjoyment out of this is I feel like I'm connecting to watchmaking in the past and speaking to you. And this whole industry at times can feel very, it loses a sense of its identity when it comes to some brands becoming these large structures. And you forget at the beginning there was one person, right, who started this and decided that they wanted to pursue watchmaking. And with you, I feel that we're seeing a direct connection to that key focus at that beginning, and you keep that alive.
And you feel, I guess the family business is, you do it with your soul, you do it not for money. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, but at the end we have to be also successful. We have on time 65 employees, and it is a challenge, in this world where we discussed that a lot of things are organized about groups and so. But the another way is we are in a size where we can move through. When people came to visit, we have a lot of scenic areas around here. They also invite to come here to make a factory tour, because we really open for this and we invite people. We have during the holiday season a lot of people. They ring on the door and say, is it possible to make a factory tour? And if we have the people here, this is the employee, they can do this, then we say, of course, please come in. So I invite people, when they are here in the area, please come to us and see how we produce watches. It's interesting to see, and then you feel more our soul, why we do something, So this is for me also the goal of the success of our brand, that we are originals, So my family is from here, from this area.
Theo, thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.